This is a Skeptic Frog production. Air, water, earth, fire.
With the cards dealt, the pieces set, and the wheels beginning to turn, the White Lotus now more than ever has to face their own reflection, as both worlds watch in anticipation for what will come of the Avatar's return.
Previously on Dice Benders.
So he wants us to find the guy that tried to kill his wife and child and bring him back to him.
How do you know your brother isn't playing you?
I don't.
Why would you call me Eva?
Well, my spirit's broken.
Hey, Mal, I need to talk to you. Every time I've come up with an idea in the past, it always seems like a good one, and then for whatever reason, it just all falls apart.
Taro, do you mind if I place some fire on you? There's something wrong with your spirit, isn't there? The longer we prolong getting this mended, the more you risk losing your bending forever, and with it your life.
Oh.
I'm surprised you guys haven't left for the mission yet.
Have you possibly thought about getting into a different profession?
I don't know who you are, and quite frankly, if you speak one more time, I'm gonna have you killed.
Just kill me then.
You keep that kind of company around, huh?
I assure you this has never happened before, and I promise you it will not happen again. We'll bring your man here.
Jaeger, you just fist bumped Morrow. He put down the phone, closed it up, but still kind of like lifted one of his hands and gestured for a couple of the guards to leave the room. As they do so, he says, "Pleasure doing business with you. I suggest it'd be best if you guys leave town as soon as possible. Get a head start on this mission of yours."
Yep, there's no time to waste.
As he says this, and as you say that, already a few of the guards in the room walk over to your chair and kind of pull you up to stand on your feet.
Okay.
And kind of.
And I start leaving. I bow respectfully, and I leave. And that, no need to make their jobs harder, I know they gotta work for a living, but I am leaving.
He gives a soft nod and then immediately looks at a few papers on his desk before picking up the phone as the door leaves, as though he's about to place a call due to one of these papers. In the other room, Taro, Kevin, Mao, you just finished speaking to Mao about this spiritual means of travel that Mordon was able to do when you met him down in the Great Divide. As this is happening, you get a knock on the door abruptly.
Whoa.
Knock.
Mao heads over to the door, opens it up, and you see it's one of the servants, one of the female servants, with a soft smile, and she comes in and says, Hasha sent me in just to make sure you guys got all the towels and everything you need, and to pick up whichever ones you've used already.
You have a surgical mask?
Well, actually, and she goes through her little, side fanny pack. I don't know if that would be called a fanny pack, but whatever. And pulls out a face mask for you.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
Sees you bundled up in a Bjorn and puts it on you herself.
Oh.
And she's like, there you go. Alright, we got you covered. No worries.
And I just go around the room, pick out the towels we use, and hand them to her.
Yeah, Mao does the same thing, helps pick up the ones that are that he used while in the bathroom and stuff like that, because he just got out of the shower recently. Hands stuff over, and she just kind of gives a friendly nod. And as she walks through the door, because she did close it when she came in, the door kind of just bursts open, and you see 2 or 3 Earth Nation or Earth Kingdom Yamamoto guards come in the room as they, without question, start grabbing like the suitcases in here. This is Mao's room, so you can only assume this is happening in y'all's room as well. Grabbing Mao's suitcases and then just leaves as one of them looks to you guys, very thick, burly-looking guy in sunglasses, that says, "The master of this kingdom has asked you guys to meet him outside."
We will meet him outside.
And Mao just looks confused, like, sure, of course. There's no reason to be harsh with my things, and they're already walking out the door without giving a second glance.
I don't know what's going on.
This is how it is, everybody.
But I think it's safe to say this. We're needed outside.
Can I add my inspiration die to did that one deception check or whatever it was?
For sure. Listeners, before the session started, Tara was able to get an inspiration die, and so she's using it now.
4.
Cool. And while this is happening, you see the servant is looking very confused and has this look of worry in her face, looks at you, Kevin, with that worried expression before trying to speak with one of the guards, as they're just kind of like pushing her out of the room. You can't make out what they're saying, but they say something to her. She kind of like covers her mouth a little bit and rushes away out of the room and down the hall. As some of the other, like the rest of the guards pretty much, including the one that spoke, kind of heads over. One of them grabs Taro's Bjorn, her cocoon, and the rest of them like grab Mao as they walk out of the room, grabs him by the arm and just kind of like drags him out of the room pretty much. As he goes, well, hold on, there's no need to be so hasty. As they're rushing out, and the last one looks at you and says, "Come on."
I'm heading with them.
We've overdone our stay, haven't we?
When the two of you walk outside, you guys see Jaeger having just finished being brought outside by two other guards, each holding him by the arms. As just as you guys come out, they let him go so that he can turn and face the mansion. Seeing the two of you, or the three of you, being led outside as well. All the suitcases kind of being thrown on the ground. I don't think y'all had too many suitcases, if anything. It's mostly like Mao's stuff. And even then, it's not all of his stuff. One thing I want to ask, Taro.
What's up?
Where's that suit?
In my bag.
Roll me a d20.
You know I suck at this.
I've got faith in you.
13.
13? You see your suit, or you see your bag as it's tossed down on the ground. They're just rushing all of y'all's stuff out, not entirely, like, whatever they can grab in just one trip out. So there are a few things that are missing. You see, like, Aiden, if he had any suitcases or anything like that, is not out there. More than half of Mao's stuff is gone. But Jaeger, I know you carry light, so pretty much everything you have with you is already on your person. Kevin, you're probably missing a suitcase or two, but you see the important stuff is there. As Morrow comes walking out, hands behind his back, and he just looks at each one of you, and as he turns to look at Taro, you said you got a 4?
Yeah.
Alright, so that means that it is a 19. So he looks at every single one of you, just kind of analyzing each, and doesn't seem fazed by any of you as he kind of moves his eyes towards every one of you. Taro is in a Bjorn. I'm assuming that Jaeger would have picked her up and is now on Jaeger's back again.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
And he doesn't seem to recognize you. It's so lucky that you rolled that extra +4.
Oh, thank you, girl.
Thank God.
Because meets beats, and he would have rolled to meet Kevin's original DC that he set.
Oh my
for that.
God.
Oh, thank you.
As he then begins to speak and says, "No, I'm sure your friend here, the warrior, will be able to give you an example of, or an explanation rather, as to what exactly is happening. To make the long story short, we need to get you on the road as soon as possible. and get you out of my town. And just then, you guys hear a voice coming from the house. As someone comes rushing out the doors, doors are swung open. And you hear, Maro, wait! And you see Hasha running out with the baby. And he turns shocked and he goes, Hasha, what are you doing? This is a business matter. We need you back inside. And without missing a beat, just behind her, you see the servant that was in y'all's room, Kevin, Taro, Mao, at the doorway, kind of watching the whole spectacle. With the baby in one arm, she grabs Maro's hand by the other and says, What is this? They did everything. They did as much as they could for us, and you're just throwing them out like this? What's going on? And she goes, and he goes, This doesn't concern you. As I said, this is a family affair. Get back inside. You hear the tension in his voice, and you see some of the guards are even starting to kind of close in on her slowly, but she doesn't skip a beat. She keeps on going, and she goes, Do you want them out there to try to find what happened to me and our son? Do you want them out so you don't have to use our men? Is that what this is? Well, just what about the airbenders that we have? What about the ones that we hire to do these things? What about their own mission? If you're trying to do this to save a couple of our men, to save a quick buck or something, that's just sending them out with nothing? That's only delaying the inevitable, Maro. That's not how it's not gonna work. And I want somebody, any one of you three, to roll me a d20 and add a +2. You're rolling for Hasha's persuasion against Maro.
Not me.
Would that include... Oh, wait, that's like her persuasion, so my persuasion has no effect on it?
Exactly.
Okay. I guess I'll give it a try, since this is kind of my mess.
It's all our mess.
14 plus 2.
You see he looks at her for a moment. You see tears welling in her eyes as she looks to all of you, and then he turns to look at each one of you. She's carrying the baby, and you see the baby is sound asleep, not even aware of any of what's going on at the moment, but at any moment could probably wake up because of how much yelling is going on. Until he finally looks down, grabs her gently by the shoulders, and says, Head back inside. Maro looks like he still needs his rest. And you do too. It is early in the morning. And she just shakes her head and says, I'm not going anywhere until I see what you're gonna do. And he just sighs and looks to one of his men and just says,
This lady got a heart of... This lady is made of
At the
steel.
very least, get them a small carriage and enough supplies to last them for a day. The man gives a nod and heads off around the building. He looks to you all and says, The next time I see you guys here in Shaokai, better be with that man with you. Better be with this mission being done. And he turns and heads back inside. As he does so, you see the rest of the men kind of just stand there watching all of you, making sure you don't move while the carriage is getting made. In fact, maybe another one even heads over to help get it set up. And Hasha heads over to you, Jaeger, and pulls out what looks like a little scroll of some kind. You see a little bit of it is torn up, a little bit of it may or may not be hard to read, but as she pulls it out and hands it over to you, she whispers something for you. And I want you to give me a perception check to see how well you can hear what she has to say.
Okay. That is a 16 plus 2, 18.
She looks you dead in the eyes and whispers just loud enough for you to hear, Read in the flames, as she hands you this.
What? Okay.
Before she turns and heads back inside.
Oh, more important information for Jaeger to keep to himself. Kidding.
The
I'll
carriage
stick
is
my
made.
hand out and wave back at Hasha, like, bye, Hasha.
She's so preoccupied with what's going on, she doesn't even notice. So, I want to let you know what that persuasion check means. You get some resources in this carriage that they're putting together for you. About a day's worth, like what Morrow said. So, you've got a free day without having to use any of your rations. Cool? You also have a creature that leads this carriage with you. And as the carriage comes out, you see it is a hamster moose. It is a large hamster with moose-like antlers that is pulling the carriage along. Taro, you know that's a very familiar creature. Surprisingly, on the United Provinces side of the waters nearby. But it seems as though the Yamamotos have their own of this kind, as it pushes or pulls the carriage along. And one other thing is something that you get from this, right? You guys each get a random weapon from the basic list in the player's handbook.
Ooh.
Hopefully, you guys get any ranged weapon, but it's entirely determined by your role. So what I'm opening up my player's handbook now. I'm sure any of you that also have a player's handbook, you can do the same. It will be anything in the simples range. I want each one of you to roll me a d12.
7.
I got a 3.
So a 7, a 5, and a 3?
I got a 12.
12. Nice. Inside this carriage, you guys can mark this down. There is a great club, just kind of as a mix. All of these are just kind of in the equipment that comes with this carriage. A great club, a mace, and Taro, you got a 12. You get to pick an item from the basic list in the player's handbook.
If I do a ranged weapon, do I also get ammo for it?
Good question. Rolled a nat 20, so yes.
Sick, okay. I will do a light crossbow.
Good choice.
Write that down.
And because I rolled a 20, there are 20 bullets with that. 20 crossbow bullets, which is just arrows. This carrot comes around the side, being pulled by a hamster moose, and it looks at you guys and goes, "Meep!"
Oh, so cute!
The guards come out, completely oblivious to how cute a hamster moose is. Just look at you guys, and one of them says, "It's probably best if you just get out of here now. Like the boss said, you're on a tight schedule."
Yeah, I'm gonna help put some of our stuff into the carriage.
Yeah, you see Mao is already, putting as much as he can in, trying to get out of here as fast as possible. And if Jaeger, if you're helping, yes or no?
Sure.
Alright, you hear him kind of, whisper to you, is "Where is Mr. Hasha?" As he's lugging these suitcases into the carriage.
Well, he ain't helping, that's for sure.
I see. But yeah, you guys get all of the stuff in. All of the guards have been standing there and watching you guys. And, Jaeger, you look up at the building one last time. And as you do, you see Morrow with a glass in one hand in the window of the dining room, watching you guys as you're getting into the carriage before heading out of Shaokai and into the wilderness, into the wild east, we'll call it.
Oh,
Those aren't the worst last words he ever said to me.
you right.
Yeah, you see Mao has nothing to say. He seems to be just processing whatever just happened just now. Which one of you wants to man the reins?
I'll do it.
All Alright, roll me an animal handling
I
check.
got a +3 on this, so here, I'll do it. Alright, that is a lovely 15 plus 3, so that's 18.
Perfect. Yep, you have absolutely no problem wrangling these hamster moose, or this hamster moose, as it goes. It's a lot for one animal to push or pull, so you guys are going a little slow, but you're getting out of town.
Did he call on him?
Did he call on him?
Yeah, did he call on our sweet, sweet friend? Who I loved hanging out with so much.
I am I am confused by the question. Like, call on him? Like, are you talking like if
call
like
on
a
the
god
phone.
called upon his soul?
No! Like, pick up the phone and order the hit. She knows how this works.
Oh. Yes. Yes, it's all clicking. It's like sequentially.
You just got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that happened.
We're lucky to get out of this situation alive, if that's the case.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
all almost died.
Yeah. Woohoo! So, where are we going, exactly? What have we decided on?
Well, we don't really have a choice. We have to grab him and take him back.
Okay. That sounds nice.
We need to get a lay of the land to see what are the defenses.
I pull out the scroll that Hasha gave me, and I'm like, "Hey guys, we're like in the carriage, right? Like we're out of sight from people." Yes?
Yeah, you guys are out of sight from, at the very least, the main household. You're on your way out of town at the moment.
And I'm probably still driving the carriage, so I probably won't be in the carriage. I'm probably in the driver's seat.
Yeah. What is that, Jaeger?
It's something that Hasha gave me before we got this sweet carriage.
I miss Hasha. The little
Yes,
baby's so cute.
She seemed very kind.
I open up the scroll.
And if you want to share the what I sent you, go ahead.
Okay, give me a few seconds.
In that case, I will let the audience know I sent Jaeger a picture, a map
Is it
of the New Earth Kingdom.
Oh,
Ooh.
praise to God.
Well, fancy.
I know it's unmarked. There's a reason for that. We'll get to that eventually.
I wonder where Bossing Say is.
I point into the water and I said it's there.
No.
You don't think so? You know the long lost city of Bossing Say?
It's... That's
Sunk
what I
under the
missed.
water by Poseidon's
No.
wrath?
Yep, listeners, that is a new Patreon exclusive one-shot that we'll be running. If we get 100 Patreons, we'll do the legend of the sunken city of Bossing Say.
Atlantic.
Yeah, we wear super tight skin suits and like oxygen masks and go under the water.
And one of us is actually this really cool princess that her eyes glow.
Yeah, hint it's me.
No. Much sexier.
So I like hold up the scroll and like I put like my other hand behind it and I use my thumb like a lighter like behind it so that the flames go through the map towards me.
Jaeger,
What?
I was expecting this to happen much later.
Well, well,
Starting a
This-
fire in the carriage.
This slowly pops up.
whoa,
What?
oh,
Show me.
she sent nudes, boys.
Oh my god. That's
So,
my
Jaeger,
sister-in-law.
go, I'll share it in chat. Go ahead and describe to the listeners what everyone sees as you kind of light this scroll up.
Okay, so I put the light from behind and there's like black lines that appear with like the names of some of the territories. And there's a Mulu with the X. And there seems to be like a secret bridge or a secret like waterway between this like these two lakes and mountain ridge. There's a symbol I have never seen before and it says have faith with a heart. And there's a couple other like black lines which I assume are trails to take.
Taro,
something.
go ahead and roll a history check with advantage.
With advantage? Because I have disadvantage on ability checks right
Yep,
now.
which just makes it a normal check.
Okay. What'd you say, history?
Mm-hmm.
15 total.
You know that the lines that appear as the fire is touching the scroll and this ink is starting to appear as the heat activates it, these are property lines.
Oh. Do I know what the question mark is?
With a 15, no.
Okay.
I am just now noticing that question mark. How strange.
And then the little symbol that she has drawn in the corner? Whatever that is.
Yep. On the bottom right corner, there seems to be a symbol of what looks like 4 petals, almost, in a cross shape. In the upper right, there appears to be a logo that none of you, not even Mao, would recognize, as he looks at all of this and says, "It appears we have some more questions, but in the state that we are in currently, I'm not going to argue with this. This seems to have been incredibly helpful." From Hasha.
God, I love her even more now. I wish I could give her a big old kiss on the cheek.
Oh.
The best sister-in-law I've ever had.
I think the last thing we want to do is kiss the crime leader's wife on the cheek.
Right.
Speak of those kinds of thoughts once we leave their main territory. You guys are in the wilderness of the Wild East, the New Earth Kingdom. The kingdom that has fallen because their capital city has been in lockdown for 8 years. Your survivability comes exclusively from the landscape around you, for as long as it takes you to travel from where you are to where you're going. It's good that you have a map, but you need a navigator. It's good that you have water with you, but you need to maintain a water source. And it's good that you have rations, but rations can deplenish very quickly. So, every day, this is how we're going to run it. There's 4 of you here. Each one of you selects a task to do for that day, and then we'll see, based off of rolls from each one of you, how you will perform that task. At the end of every day, we need to ensure that we have enough water and enough rations to make it through an entire day unscathed. You guys do get 1 free day because of the carriage. Luckily, you guys rolled a very good persuasion check against Morrow because of Hasha. Hasha has been your MVP so far. But from this point forward, it's all on you. You guys travel for the rest of the day without any major conflicts, without any major issues, any problems. And you guys begin to end the day. It is late in the evening. You have to set up camp. Your hamster moose is tired. It begins to lay down. You guys can't keep it moving forward. It needs its rest. And something else that I want to mention, the landscape around you is rocky, but you do get some trees, some bushes, things like that. Think like this isn't so much of a desert, more as just a mountainside that still has evergreen lushness to it. You're still somewhat in the mountains, so you do see, you are a little bit higher elevation than sea level, so you're able to make out a good bit of the surroundings around you, but you're still so far away, you can't see the walls of Ba Sing Se, and you can't make out which direction you guys need to go currently, which means the navigator has a very special job tomorrow. I want whoever is assigning themselves to... Let's do it like this. Collecting firewood, nature check, navigation, survival. And I want one person to just roll me a raw intelligence check to gauge the rations that everybody has. We can go from there. So who's doing what, and what is your role?
Well, I was in a band of nomads for most of my life, so maybe navigator might be the best thing for me. But I don't know how everybody else is, or how anybody else feels about that.
I am bad at all my throws right now, so whichever one is least important is what I will do.
This is something that I can say to any one of you. Mal can take up a mantle of whichever you assign yourself to if you don't feel comfortable in your role. Mal is there. I'm not going to make him completely useless here, but he's only going to roll if you decide to let him. That means he can only make one of these rolls. So, like, 2 of you can't decide to let Mal roll for you.
I think Mao should get the firewood, I should get the navigation, and Kevin should do the intelligence. And let Taro rest.
Okay.
Thanks.
I don't know though how anybody else feels about that. I'm just
I think
gaming.
that's a good thing, because Tara, look at Tara, you do need your rest.
Yeah. Go cuddle with the moose hamster.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. I'm
Oh my
stitching little
goodness.
chinny chin chin.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking in my head and I'm enjoying it.
People with fan art abilities, make it happen.
Yeah, make Taro cuddle a moose hamster. Okay, so one more time. Who's rolling what?
Raw intelligence check. 30-20.
Woohoo!
Nice. Who's doing nature? Who's doing the resources? Collecting firewood.
I believe that is Mao.
That's Mal.
Okay. And survival, navigation. That's you, Jaeger, right?
Yeah, 15 plus 3.
Cool. So, Kevin, looking at all the rations that you guys have today, today specifically, you guys were completely free. You didn't have to use any of your extra rations, which is good. Or you didn't have to use any of your own rations. You were able to use the stuff that was granted to you from this carriage. So you begin to search through other people's stuff. So you guys are looking really good, Kevin. You got a dirty 20. You have a total of 7 water skins. You guys have currently 20 rations with you.
20 rations.
Mao, he was the one that had to roll for sticks. He didn't roll very well. Nature is not his strong suit. He just got a flat 10. So he comes up with like some sticks and twigs. A few of them won't burn because they seem to be have snapped off of some evergreens, which still retain water and would not be dry enough for fire. So you'll have to throw some of those out. But a 10 meets the DC. So you guys would be able to survive a night with a fireplace at your side, keeping any monsters from happening to encroach on your little thing here.
I'm going to
Jaeger.
look at those evergreens, actually. Can I see those, Mal?
Of course, certainly.
I'm just looking at them, see how damp they are, and I am going to burn a chi point to absorb the water out of it.
Oh, you're doing air hydrant, or which one is this? Collect water?
You're right.
I think it's called. Dope.
And whatever empty water bottles we have left, just absorbing some of this water and just putting it into them. So as we can add to the water.
For that, I will add an extra water skin to your resources, so you have 8 total water skins.
Whew.
Still doesn't get you everything that you need for one full day, but it's better than nothing.
Exactly.
And Jaeger,
Yes.
you have the map in front of you, and you know exactly where you left from, and you got an 18. You look at the way the mountains look on this map and realize, okay, we're just about to reach the edge. Time to start heading north. And if you are right, it will make for a smoother day tomorrow.
Okay.
But is there anything anyone wants to say to each other tonight? This is your first time the Cajun Fry has ever really been alone with each other. And Mal.
I'm looking around, making sure we're actually alone before
Just
saying something.
on the peak of the mountains nearby, you do see a glint of what could be like a telescope or binoculars or something peering in y'all's direction. But it's hard to make out anything more than that. You just know something is there watching you. And that's in the direction of where Shao Kai is from.
Okay, so he definitely is watching us. Alright. Question. What happened?
I thought you'd never ask. So, I went to go talk to Amaro, and Aiden showed up,
Oh,
right?
God.
I had conflicting feelings having him come with me based on how the morning went, but I figured as long as he's just quiet and he doesn't say anything, I can do this, right? So I went in there, and Morrow and I start talking, and it seems like it's gonna start going my way, and I genuinely feel that everybody could have won in this situation. But then Aiden, like, he said, like, I feel bad for your kid.
Oh.
My face just dropped when he said that.
Oh.
He did not.
And then he said you should pick a different profession. And
My
face
face just dropped even further.
So he wanted to die, is what you're saying.
What? When the spirits were giving out brains, where the heck was he? Where?
Then, well, Taro, to go off of what you said, he literally yelled, "Kill me!" Then, and then your brother's henchman just turned him into Swiss cheese.
Yeah,
and they were about to kill all of us. We were all about to die, and I said, "Okay," like essentially, I said, "Okay, we'll do it your way. We'll just go grab him and come back," because I didn't think we really had a choice. All the good favor I had was lost.
Yep. Sound about right.
But there's something else I should tell you guys as well, since we're out here, and I don't... Did Kevin announce that we're being watched?
I'm gonna kind of in hushed tones, like, thank you for telling that tidbit, and I kind of, not try to be as subtle as possible, kind of gesture, we are being watched.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can roll with this. There's something else I think you guys should know.
What's that?
I think Morrow is working with Mordon. Yeah, there was a letter on Morrow's desk with his name on it, and I think it was from Bossing Say. Or whatever city. I'm bad with city names, listeners, forgive me.
You got it, that's the one.
Bossing, yes, that is the capital of the New Earth Kingdom.
Yeah, so I was able, I guess I figured out where this dude's hiding, but...
How, Mr. Zaspera, you verified that he could teleport using powers of spirits?
Yep.
It never quite occurred to me that he could have a hand to play in Bossing Say.
But if you think about it, Bossing Say been shut down, almost 8 years, give or take?
Which would only mean that he's been a part of Bossing Say, or at least has been able to enter it since prior. They don't allow... obviously, with the walls being put up and such...
It wouldn't be the first time the Red Lotus was in Bossing Say. Remember the last ruler?
But it only makes me question and fear what his part has to play in that city.
Yeah. Ugh.
And the worst part of that is, we have no way of entering unless we are able to obtain the same abilities that he has in terms of this teleportation.
That is true. But right now we need to focus on the current situation we are. So, let's, except for Taro, let's draw straws. It's for, who's gonna keep watch?
I'll keep watch. No need to draw straws.
Well, Jaeger, it would be best if
we're all gonna take shifts.
Separated, yes, in shifts.
So, first shift, second shift, and third shift.
I can take third shift.
I'll take second.
Miss Mendoza, I do hope that you feel better. And although I have no way of curing your... I don't even know what to call it. We'll keep an eye on you, whoever is up as well. Rest assured.
Wow, thank you. Woe is me. Woe is me. That's a thing we say over here. Like
Woo
King
is
Woo.
me.
You know, like, woe is me, woo is me.
As in
it's
the
a fun
former
joke.
king of the Earth Kingdom.
Yes, it's a fun joke. You don't understand.
You don't understand. Yeah, Mal, you wouldn't
good
get
night.
it.
Good night.
No, I've only dealt with one monarch being assassinated right under my watchful eye. But yes,
Taro is sleeping now.
immediately
Woo is me. Good night.
drops mic and goes to bed. Exit stage left. Okay, so Jaeger taking first watch. Roll me a perception check. I'll roll one for now. Okay.
Oh, jeez. I got a 5.
Okay.
I hate everything.
And Kevin said that he'll be back.
I wish I could send this D20 to dice jail, but I have no other D20s.
So, Jaeger, first
Yes.
watch.
Mm-hmm.
You were laying here. Describe the scene for me. Like, you guys are kind of like somewhat on some cliffside on a mountain face, right at the end of the mountain before you reach the sea level of this territory here. You got some greenery around you, but the moon is high. It is no longer a full moon. It would have been yesterday, or at the very least the day before that, given how it was when you guys were in the town of Wei. Stars are out. Everybody else is sleeping, but you do still see the light on in Mao's tent for a moment longer, at least a lantern. And you're keeping the fire going, waiting for his shift to start so that you can get your rest. But anything else you want to add in that scene, by all means do so.
I would probably just be like sitting there, like leaning on my axe and, looking around, maybe throw in some push-ups to stay awake, do some squats for the future torquing, and checking out that map every once in a while, and yeah.
Okay. While you're sitting here, kind of just watching this flame, roll me a perception check.
Am I gonna try to persuade the fire to stay alive?
Maybe.
Okay. 12 plus 6, 18.
You hear some rustling in some of the bushes nearby where your moose hamster is laying for the night.
Oh. I investigate.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check.
Ooh, okay. 8 plus 8, 16.
Okay. You get up. You have your weapon ready as you kind of like sneak over around the tents over to where the carriage is. Your moose hamster is lying on his side going, and you see its little legs kicking like it's dreaming that it's running.
Mm-hmm.
Like a cute little hamster moose would, on a giant wheel.
Correct, yes.
And through the bushes nearby, you see and you hear the growling of a wolf bear.
Ah, jeez.
And also roll me a nature check to see what you know of this thing.
19 plus 1.
You know wolf bears generally hunt in packs of 2 or 3.
Oh. I create a flame out of my hand in an attempt to scare them away with fire.
Between the hamster moose, or the moose hamster and the wolf bear?
Yeah.
Roll me an intimidation check.
That is a 12 plus 6, 18.
Oh, there's nothing I could roll that could even beat that. You do this. The fire erupts from your hand and creates an arc around the moose hamster. It wakes up, goes, and looks around scared as you hear the wolf bears charge off in the distance. Mao immediately bursts out of his tent, looks around and goes, What was that? What was that? And he sees the fire and sees you standing there, hands simmering with flame, or with the smoke of the flame.
I comfort the hamster moose. I give it a little pet. And I look at Mao and say, it's nothing.
He rubs his head and says, this is probably going to be a common occurrence while we're out here, isn't it?
Yeah, the wild is pretty unpredictable sometimes.
We should count ourselves lucky you were able to scare it off with simple flames. It may not work the next time, depending on the size of the monster.
Yeah, but it's always a good go-to. They're just trying to survive like us.
And he looks at you and gives you a warm and respectful nod before he says, "There's about an hour left before my rest, and I take up the mantle of shift. If you want, I can fill in now, since I'm up, or...
I'll just finish. It's not a big deal.
Then I will see you in an hour,
See you then,
Mr. Asmund."
Dr. Mal.
He gives a quizzical nod and heads inside.
Hey, people work hard for those PhDs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Day 1. We have begun the real trek out to a marking found on the map we were given by Hasha. Food isn't too scarce, and overnight Kevin seemed to have found us some extra meat. Water, though, seems to be a bit of a struggle. Taro is tired, still, and that only worries me more, as not only will it slow us down, but it means her illness is still strong in her. We've been on the road for a number of hours already, and this blasted carriage, only able to follow dirt paths made out from years of travel. If only we had a bison. What on earth is... Stop immediately!
I'm stopping the carriage.
And he jumps out from the back and just, like, runs east through brush and nature.
Oh, yeah, I get what's going on. For sure.
I'll follow
he's
him.
obviously just got to pee really bad.
Nobody follows
He's a
him?
shy peer.
No, I'll follow him.
You'll
I will
follow him?
also follow him because I know that makes him uncomfortable.
I'm gonna stay with the moose because this is our transportation.
Yeah, you keep
Yeah,
watch.
makes sense. As you guys are running this way, Taro, because of your role, you get to see it before Jaeger. You notice it looks like some kind of tower set in the middle of this somewhat of a plateau as you guys have traveled. And Mao is just like running towards it until he reaches a point where he just kind of stops and admires it from a distance. And Jaeger, you finally spot this thing too, just as you're coming to a stop. Taro, because you rolled better, you see a tattered White Lotus flag blowing in the wind on this tower. And Mao just has the biggest smile on his face, and he goes, "I thought these were all destroyed from... Oh my goodness!" And he continues to rush forward again.
Well,
Mal.
Cool
Wait.
your jets, Turbo.
Bro.
As he's running, you hear him say, "Do you not know what this means? Do you
I
not
will-
know what this is?"
I will tell them about the rash if you do not explain.
What?
And you guys, do you guys just stand there as he rushes, or do you follow?
Yeah, I guess I gotta follow. I gotta see what this man's up to.
Okay. Tara.
I think I want to go back with Kevin and make sure. Just keep watch out there.
We get a teacher and student moment. Jaeger, we eventually reach the entranceway of what looks like a large tower that you see markings of the White Lotus sigil. Let me send you a picture of the White Lotus logo.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've seen that thing.
Yeah. You see that etched into some of the stonework
Mhm.
as he just stands there and marvels at it, and he goes, "Jaeger, do you know what this is?
That looks like a White Lotus symbol.
We are looking at the history before the schools. Oh, this is amazing. Can't believe there's still one standing after all these years."
And it's a tower?
And it's just like a single tower that stands maybe like 2 or 3 stories. And he goes to reach for the door, this wooden door, and as he grabs it to try to open it, it just kind of falls off the hinges and falls inside, and he like stands there hesitantly as the dust settles indoors before he walks in.
Hey, there could be booby traps. You know?
Booby traps? Not at all. There's no reason for such... As he walks in.
Yeah, well, you think they got any rations in there? So some water? Some jars of peaches? Or...
As you see him walk in, he is just like a kid at the most exciting part of any kind of museum. That's a really weird analogy that any child would ever see.
What?
He just looks so enthralled by what's around him right now. And he goes, they stopped making these outposts shortly after the United Provinces School was built. That was over 20 years ago, Jaeger.
So what? I am confusion.
Oh, don't you understand? Jaeger, this is history.
Yeah,
I'm standing in a historical landmark. Well, a structural landmark.
Well, do you want to mark it on the map and maybe come back when our lives aren't at risk?
Oh, that would be fantastic. I would love to come here. And he looks to the side, because you haven't said you've entered, and he just goes, it looks like the stairway has been destroyed in the time since this has been long since abandoned. There's no way I can reach the top. That is unfortunate.
I look on the outside of the building and see if there's like a way for me to climb up there.
Oh, roll me in athletics or a acrobatic. Oh, I would just say athletics. Yeah, I don't see an acrobatic thing for this one.
I got a natural 20 plus
Bala!
2.
You can easily make your way up this tower if you chose to just climb it.
I guess I'll do that. Like, try to make my way if there's like a window to like just peer in.
And he sees you kind of start climbing, and he rushes back out and goes, Jaeger, be careful!
Don't worry.
But you make your way to the top of the tower, hopping inside one of the windows, and you see, like, you get a really good sense of direction here. You can see very far out from where you could have at the ground level, almost as though, like, it starts to make sense why you're able to, like, this is going to help. Long story short, this is going to give you advantage on your next navigation check.
Ooh, cool.
Because you are able to see out so far.
Oh, so I like jot it down on like somewhat like there's like parchment or somewhere in there. Or...
you do have the map with you, so you could just write it on the map.
Yeah, I'll write it on the back, out of sight of the lines that are already present.
Cool. But also roll me a perception check while you're in here, because you are inside an outpost from over 20 years ago.
11 plus 2, 13.
You don't find too much in here. It looks like everything's kind of been, like, carried out from who knows how long ago. But you see, on the desk, there is one final scroll, barely legible, but it is, like, rolled up as though it was supposed to be brought with everything else and just wasn't. But you see a rolled up scroll, dried quill and dried ink nearby on this desk, and down on the floor level inside the tower, you hear Mal say, "Have you found anything, Jaeger?"
I take that scroll and I like go out the window and I toss it down to him.
He rushes back out, catches it. Well, let's see if he catches it. Yeah,
Wait.
he catches it. He catches it and goes, Jaeger, be careful with this. You are throwing history out the windows.
Hi, I can't hear you.
Jaeger.
But you eventually make your way back down. There's not too much more you see here besides getting the advantage of being able to roll your next navigation with advantage and the scroll. You can tell this place has been like cleaned out and emptied long before you got here. There was so much dust that was even sitting on the scroll that was on this table. But you head back down. He tries to help you get down, though doesn't know how to do it exactly. But just looks back up at the tower and says, the amount of studies and notes that were taken in this tower. Those days are long behind the White Lotus now.
Yeah, it's fine. You know,
It's
time
fine.
moves on, and
Jaeger,
you know,
he looks like he took that personally. He's like, you don't understand the full weight behind what you just did.
why don't you write it down for me with this? And I hand him the quill of the ink thing from the top of the tower.
Oh! And he sobs.
And I start walking back to the carriage to let the homies know that I might have found a cool place to stay.
He sobs for like a solid 5 minutes as you guys walk back to the carriage. Aspen, this is the sweetest thing anyone's ever given me.
Mal, please stop crying. You're wasting up your precious water.
Absorb the water and make it drinkable.
And I'm giving him a nice hug.
Kevin, absorb the water so I can drink it.
Mr. Zasper,
Salty.
you are a history buff. We saw one of the old landmarks of the White Lotus, one of the lookout towers.
Wait, that's a lookout tower.
There's an look! You can even see it from this distance.
I'm looking at what he see, and they're like, oh wow. Why were they abandoned?
Oh, that is a story that I can tell you in the evening when we're setting up camp. And he
Would
wipes one of the
this be-
tears from his eyes.
I'm looking at Jaeger. If we stay here, would it add a day to us? Or it would be a better place to stay? What's your opinion?
What time is it?
It's like early afternoon.
Early afternoon. And you mentioned like the 2 ghost towns. Like if we were to like go through there, would that be feasible in this day?
There is one ghost town that you can probably get to by the end of the day. That is the one that is like north of the outpost, kind of like northwest. But going to the one that's more south doesn't make any sense. That's going the opposite direction.
Right. So if we head to the one north, we'll make it there by nightfall, and there might be supplies that were left behind.
Maybe, perhaps.
So I turn to Kevin and I say, well, while I was up in White Lotus history, I saw a ghost town up to the north. It should be I think that might be a good place to stop by. There might be supplies and water and whatnot, and definitely shelter.
On day 2, we were driving down the cart with Mr. Wiggles down the path. Even though we're on this crazy mission for a psychopath, the leader of the Yamamotos, Tara's crazy brother, I still can't get over how beautiful the Earth Kingdom is. The mountains, even in autumn, is still breathtaking. While gazing over the view, driving down the path, Jaeger and Mao see a tower in the distance. Mao recognized it as one of the White Lotus outpost towers. After some time, he came out of the tower, and Mao was crying happy tears, and I'm talking about, I have seen this guy drunk, and drunk Mao wasn't this happy. It's amazing how much Mao has changed since we all first met him.
You guys make your way to an abandoned city. Taro, give me a history check, please.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada boom.
9 plus 2, 11.
You remember being in this area before, like so many years ago. You were probably still like a kid, maybe just a preteen at the point that you have been here before. But you know you've been in this town before. You're seeing signs that look all too familiar that you forgot even existed until you're looking at them again now. And it's just blasts from the past for you.
Wow.
But that's simply just to emphasize how quick a town can go from a bustling city that means something to a ghost town.
I would whistle, but I can't whistle. So insert me whistling here. Thank you.
And as you guys go through, I want everybody to roll me. I'll give you guys the choice: investigation or survival.
I'm going survival for myself.
I'll also go survival.
I'm doing investigation. Got a 19.
That would be a 21. 15 plus 6.
15 plus 3, 18.
Kevin, you find that the water source that supplied this village was a well, but it seems as though the underground spring is still living. You're able to get half of your water skins full, so you have four full water skins.
Nice.
Taro and Jaeger, you are both able to look around and find some dry rations, though the dates on them, like if they're in cans and such, would be expired by now. If you choose to eat them, they will still count towards rations. Each one of you are able to find about 3 rations each.
So 6 questionable rations. Gotcha.
Yep.
Possible diarrhea.
We can't poop in survival mode.
It's true.
Remember.
Yep, there's no pooping in survival.
Yeah.
I remember a time when I had an ally of the White Lotus that's pooped while surviving.
What?
Keyword is
Dude.
had.
No way.
Keyword is had. Yeah.
Ah.
Well, yeah, a majority of poops, you don't really see them again.
Well,
Alright.
so who's taking watch tonight?
We will shift it to the right. So Mal will start off, then it'll be me, and then Kevin.
Alright. Before we rest, are there anything we can salvage? Possibly, maybe, like a general store or anything like here? Is there even one here?
That's what that investigation / survival was, to get rations and water. Unless there's something more specific that you're looking for, in which case let me know and we can find out.
I would totally do a check to see if we can find a reason why it's a ghost town.
That would be a good idea.
Can I look for bullets?
I'm gonna look for more. I'm gonna look for more hunting traps.
I want to look for my will to live.
Good
So
luck.
Jaeger, just roll me a religion check.
Wait, religion? Wait.
For your will to live.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I got a 3.
Everybody, you have no will.
Ah, shit.
You only struggle to survive and nothing more.
Okay.
But you ask yourself, what is the point in any of this?
What is even the point?
But yeah, everybody roll me investigation checks. God, what a callback, dude.
What a
7.
callback. 17.
That was an 18 plus 1, so 19.
Taro, you got a 7. You didn't find any extra bullets.
Aw.
Jaeger, you got a 17 to see like why this town is abandoned. You find what appears to be a caved-in mine entrance just outside of town.
Oh, cool. So there are creatures in there that they had to block off to protect the world.
And
That's right.
Kevin, you got a 19, and what were you looking for again?
Hunting traps.
You find equipment that you can easily craft one. I would say even with a 19, you can make a trap without even having to roll for it.
Sweet! Adding this to my inventory, another hunting trap.
Yep, do keep that in mind. Yes. And that's what you guys find. Sorry, Tara.
That's fine.
Day 3. It hasn't been a rough day. Taro is looking healthy, and we are on track thanks to Jaeger's climb up the tower. And Kevin is doing an outstanding job with ration control. With the team's resilience and camaraderie, it made for a pleasant ride, and I am genuinely impressed how well they get along and how well they all work together. One filling in for the other in each other's weaknesses and learning to complement each other's strengths. It reminds me of some of my old teams when I was their age. It's interesting how much my past seems to come back to me with these 3 around. makes it almost bittersweet in a way. On one hand, it reminds me of the laughs my party had amongst each other when we set camps or went on missions. But on the other hand, I remember how distant I was to my team, being a bystander there just as much as I am here. My solitude now, as it was then, is through my books and this new scroll. I opened it last night. Talks of the transfers centuries of 20 years ago had to make when the schools began construction. Some of the names I recognized as members even today as teachers spread throughout the schools. Makes me wonder if they kept in touch with each other over the years. If my personal experience is any indication, I would assume not. Oh. Tried sheltering it today, but it continues to sneak up on me. I haven't the heart to tell the team of my contraction when watching that old woman. They unanimously chose me to watch her, and with how well things are going between all of us, I don't want them thinking I hold resentment. Though my symptoms seem more frequent and more severe than Taro's, I am hoping to search why this is. Anyway, the team is collecting to decide evening tasks. I must go. In my weight.
Today in particular, it seems as though Mal was not able to collect nearly as much firewood as he has been before in the last couple of days. And he just says, I'm very sorry I wasn't able to uncover much else than this.
I just realized something. Tara, do you think you can make like a shelter for us for tonight, so at least we can make this heat last?
I can make an earth barrier.
That would be splendid. And Mal just kind of like, roll me insight checks, all of you, as he kind of like leaves the campsite for a second.
Back on the pad roll.
I got
6.
11.
17.
Okay.
14 plus 3.
Taro, you're too distracted making this earth barrier. Jaeger, you're just kind of watching Taro do this. And you see Mal leave, but you absent-mindedly think, oh, he's just pooping.
Yeah.
But Kevin, you notice something is like different. His tone and energy seems to just be different as he kind of like runs off from the group for a second.
I'm just gonna follow him from a distance.
Okay. You go a safe distance away from the party as he is just coughing up a lung into like some brush that he can, and is just it sounds wheezing, like he's wheezing. He can't hold breath in his lungs right now.
Oh God! From a distance. I'm just beginning to diagnose him from the sound, his breathing. It sounds like he is sick. Does it matches what Tara went through?
Roll me a medicine check.
17 plus 6, so a 23.
Wow.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, this isn't like a normal cough. 100% this isn't normal.
Oh, he's definitely sick.
And he finally turns around and goes, "Oh, Mr. Zespera, is everything all right?" And you see, like, his forehead is sweating a little bit, too.
I'm looking at him. How long have you been sick for?
Mr. Zespera, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're a bad liar. I know you. I can hear your cough. It is not a normal sickness. How long?
Roll me a persuasion check.
12 plus 3, 15?
He looks at you for a second. For a good beat, actually. Covers his mouth again a little bit before he finally says, "Let's just say it's more contagious than I was letting on."
From the captain's mom's house.
And he just nods.
I am going to burn a couple of chi points, pulling the moisture from the air as much as I can to to do a healing waters on him.
He shakes his head and puts his hands up and says, "No. It's more important to use that water for our resources, Mr. Zaspera. You are full aware of this.
And
I appreciate that, Mr. Zaspera, but the priority is getting to the White Lotus headquarters, so I can give them all the information that we've gained from not only my research, but from what we discovered from Miss Mendoza." And you see he is just like sweating profusely, and he just says, "Nobody needs to know. The last thing we need to think about is struggle out here."
well, lucky
It's
for
the
you, we're in a
livelihood.
desert environment, so I kind of take out a napkin and just kind of pat his head a bit and kind of show him his sweat.
Mr. Zaspera, and he pulls out a little journal and opens it up and shows it to you, and he says, "Since I was tasked to watch that old woman from Way, I've been keeping notes. It seems the days that I expend the most energy, it seems to be the last.
So
It
the less,
quickens the process.
so the less spending you do, the longer the less the sickness will take over.
That's a theory. I don't know. I still don't know. There's so much of this. Because we haven't been able to stay at one secluded spot, I haven't been able to send any messages out to the White Lotus.
I think that's a good idea. You haven't. Remember, we're being watched.
Yes, especially now our situation is far worse.
Let's get back before the others beginning to worry.
Just tell them I'm using the bathroom.
Jaeger's ears perk up.
I head back to the group. How you guys doing? And using the napkin, as firewood now.
Where were you off to, huh? What were you doing? Uh-huh.
Yeah, what were you doing?
Where are you going? What's
Keeping
up?
secrets, are we?
Secrets.
Secrets?
Secrets.
Secrets?
Kevin, why you keeping secrets?
I was just checking him out. Looks like he's having, let's say something ain't green with him. Now.
Did he have one of the bad rations?
I don't know. We haven't.
Oh.
I say, with the bad rations, we'll open them up and thoroughly cook them. Or at least thoroughly expect them to see how well they're kept.
I can do that. I flick my thumb like a lighter and put it at the bottom of the can.
We have a fire literally right in front of us.
Yeah, but this is cooler.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
You know how often I get to do this?
Mal eventually heads back and just nods to all of you and just says, "Wake me up as soon as it is my shift."
Oh, I can take your shift.
It is. Do you feel up for it, Miss Mendoza? I don't want to put too much stress on you.
Yeah,
I
look at me.
I look at the hamster moose and I'm like, what about him?
I'm looking at Jaeger and I'm like, do you think that Mr. Wiggles is going to be going
Mr. Wiggles?
Call him that. His name is Gorthon, Devourer of Souls.
We call him Wiggles for sure.
Mr. Wiggles is canon now. Don't at me.
Don't use his Christian name, Jaeger.
Don't you at me, Jaeger. I will. Boom.
I'll do it again.
Of course, my family reunion with my favorite brother turns into a family favor. We literally saved his son and his wife. Shouldn't that be favor enough? No. No. Of course not. It's the family. It was odd being there as an outsider. Not having people respect me out of fear, but respecting me for respect's sake. It was nice. The last time I walked those halls, as a Yamamoto, was the last time I saw my mother. The last time I saw my brother, before he threatened me with what all that leave the family are threatened with. So you can tell I'm super excited to do a favor for my old family. I would much rather just get to the White Lotus headquarters. The last couple of days have been not great for me, spirit-wise. It's days like the last couple of days that remind me of what Val told me, that if I continue to bend, I will continue to make it worse. If we could just get to headquarters, maybe they would have a better clue on how to help me and everyone else dealing with this kind of thing. Speaking of, it seems as though Jaeger's new teacher, Mao, might be dealing with something similar. I saw his spirit when I was river dancing to help set up camp, and it's just as leaky as mine is. I didn't notice it before. I wonder how long he's been like this. Anyways, we are still quite a ways from the next town, I think. Hoping we don't lose any more people while here in the New Earth Kingdom, and that we can just get this stupid side quest over and done with quickly.
It is the next morning, but there's one thing that's particularly bad here. You guys are fairly low on rations, and you have no extra water.
Right.
Because Kevin, what is the update on ration amount? Isn't it 6?
Let's see. For rations? Yeah, 6.
So you guys are going to need some rations to equate for today.
How bleak is the outside? Desert-like or getting close to some greenery?
You're starting to get close to greenery. The further north you go. Jaeger, roll me a survival check. This isn't with advantage this time because you got that last time.
Yeah.
But let's see what you get.
A dirty 20 once again.
Perfect. You guys are exactly in the trajectory that you're trying to go. So you are seeing some greenery again.
Hey!
Okay, there's greenery, which means there's plant life. Where there's plant life, there's usually some sort of water.
And possibly fruit and berries?
And the farm?
Well, berry, like, I don't know.
Maybe some nuts.
So rather than rolling a random encounter check, we're going to run a combat encounter, guys.
Yay!
Oh, cool. Yes.
Oh.
Violence.
So, who is doing what today? Because we need water today, and we need food. Today is a big resource day.
I can help hunt. Or attempt to, at least.
I think the hunt is on.
While Kevin and maybe Mao attempt to do
Find
water. Well, I guess mostly Kevin.
Yeah.
Mao
it's mainly going to be
supervises.
Kevin with Mao offering inspiration.
Yes, because he's very inspirational.
Through heavy history references.
Yes, precisely. While we do the shoot and the stab.
You want my spear?
Oh, that spear, Taro?
I don't know if I'm proficient in your spear.
It's a simple weapon.
Oh, so then yeah.
It's kind of like a gun, but instead of a machine doing it for you, it's your own arm.
Oh.
And between y'all two strength score, you're probably gonna hit something harder than I could with it.
Yes, I shall do a little stab with that thing.
Yeah, essentially the healers are gonna go away from the fight.
Yeah, sounds about right. That sounds like par for the course. Dice Okay, so this is going to be really interesting. So we have 2 separate encounters.
If I die inside of another creature, I lose a bet.
Kevin and Mao. We're going to start with them first.
Aw.
To save the best for last. Because I honestly feel like the Jaeger Taro bit's going to be really, really fun to roleplay. But this one is good to roleplay for the sake of roleplay and not for the sake of combat. Kevin, you and Mao and Mr. Wiggles is looking for water, I take it? Or are you guys looking for fruits and vegetables and stuff like that?
Water.
I wrote 2 different mechanics based off of this. There is air hydration, which guarantees a half of a skin's worth. So you can play it safe and spend 1 chi for a half of a water skin. Or you can risk it by doing Create or Destroy Water, spending your stamina, and needing to do a DC Arcana check. And this Arcana check will determine how much water you get.
I'm taking a risk. I'm gonna take a risk because I have the ability to conjure up 10 gallons of water, clean water, in my environment, from my surrounding. Yeah, up to.
Let's roll. See what you
Right. Okay. That ain't bad. That ain't too bad. 17 plus 1, that's gonna be a 18.
get. You get 2 gallons worth of water.
Okay, so that's 4 water skins.
That's 4 water skins.
Alright. So that's about enough for 2.
You'll need 3 more gallons. That's right.
Yeah. So, got something.
Let me roll for Mal. See if he can do anything. He's just kind of out of his element right now, and he goes, truth be told, I'm not really good at finding water sources. Mr. Zaspera, if I can open up to you. The wilderness is not exactly my element.
I just really need you here to watch the hamster moves to make sure nobody try to steal it while I'm doing this.
Absolutely, I can do that. Go ahead, and I trust you. Everything that you are able to do.
Gotcha. So, 2 gallons of water, 4 water skins. Okay. But in my surrounding area, it's like withered grass, correct?
Yeah, just about. You're starting to see some, like, low levels of desiccation in the fauna around you. Just because of how cold it's starting to get.
I wish it snowed in this area. So, I'm going to continue heading towards northwards, but still be on lookout for any more water sources I can draw in.
Roll me either nature or survival.
Yay! 16 plus 6, that's a 22.
Over some time, you begin to travel. Now, it's far enough away to where you don't really see Mao or know what's going on around there. But you eventually come across what looks to be an old lake. I say old because a lot of the water seems to have been either taken either from like a nearby town that you guys just haven't come across yet that used to draw from this place, or what. Whatever the case may be,
it's an
there's
ancient
not
like
a lot. Yes, yeah, basically. You're not getting a lot here. But you can still get something. You got what'd you say, a 22?
Yes, sir.
Cool. You're able to get, if you take the time and draw out everything that's left in this lake, you can get 3 gallons worth.
I'm going to take the time. But first, I'm going to look around, just in case there's other things that might depend on this lake, before I start doing that.
Roll me a nature check.
14 plus 1, 15.
You see a dam that was been built up a long time ago, though it looks abandoned, of a porcupine beaver.
Porcupine beaver? So I'm going to take the time and just draw in the water so I can carry back 3 gallons of water.
Okay. We'll get back to you.
I got a bad feeling.
Why? There's no reason to feel bad.
I've been a DM knows that tone anywhere.
So, Jaeger and Taro, as you are hunting and searching, you come across a small group of like 2 or 3 saber-toothed moose lions.
Oh, jeez, I fought them before.
2 of them look adult-sized. One looks about teenager-sized, almost ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
Meaning that it's gained its antlers and such.
Oh.
And they're just kind of like grazing what little they can of the field before they continue to march forward. These large beasts.
Is it more like a moose size or more like a lion size?
It is a moose size.
It is a moose size.
They're big. They're huge.
Big honkers.
They are very large creatures.
That's like an adult is probably a lot of rations. That would last us quite a bit.
That is true. And there are 2 adults and 1 pretty much teenager. And as you guys are looking through the brush, trying to hide yourselves, you see these creatures just kind of grazing in the field.
What are you thinking, Taro?
I can make the ground underneath them be bad, and they can fall over, and then we'll have more time to stabby McStab.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which one do you think we should go for?
The adults.
I concur, because teenagers don't like their parents.
Yeah.
I think he'll bail, or that creature will bail, and and then we take on these adults. I think that might work.
Yeah. How far away are they?
They're far enough to where they haven't noticed you yet.
I want to move within 60 feet of them and do minor fissure.
Roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
You know I'm gonna ask for rolls.
Yeah, I know. Oh, sick! Nat 20 plus 6, 26.
Alright, I'm not even gonna roll against that, because it's rare that you get a nat 20. It's rare that you roll well.
Woo!
Alright, you get within 60 feet of these things. You're able to kind of sneak around the underbrush. You're able to sneak around some of the evergreens, kind of like slide down any cliff face or any slopes that you can. And every time they look around is right when everything dispels and they don't see anything. And you are within 60 feet of these things.
Cool. I can do rock throw. Wait, no, do I want to throw rocks at them?
Gonna do rock throw? Can you only target one?
Yeah, one opponent. One of those adults. The target must make a dex save. On a fail save, target takes 4d6 bludgeoning damage and is protected by your knockdown ability.
The knockdown ability is not the case anymore, because knockdown is now a specific technique. It only got a 9 dexterity save.
Okie dokie. I don't know if I have 46. That is 10 plus 11, 21.
21 is pretty good.
Wow.
Yum, girl.
So, Taro, describe for me how this looks for the audience.
So, I'm sneaking up in the little bush. I realize that they are a lot bigger than I thought they were. So I'm like, well, shoot. And I draw up a huge boulder and throw it generally at one of the adults.
Yep. As Taro is hidden under some underbrush and just launches a boulder. Jaeger, you are somewhat safe. Just a small slope side higher to witness this whole event. Since that is technically a surprise round, you still get to act, Jaeger, if you want to.
I would like to.
Do it up.
So how far away am I?
She got within 60 feet. I will say it would be safe to assume that you only got, or that you're like 90 feet.
So I'm gonna have to get close, methinks.
So you slide down with Taro?
Yeah. And then I am going to use Seeking Flame on the adult that she hit.
Okay, what happens? Describe it for the audience.
Okay, so I pull out my hands and I turn them into kind of like a gun form, kind of like the fire bullets, but instead of one finger, I now use 2 fingers because this one is stronger, and mathematically 2 is bigger than 1. Mm-hmm. Right?
What?
Right. That's right. And so
mathematical sense.
And so I pull it out and I don't yell anything because this isn't an anime, and I shoot out a Seeking Flame, which does 2d8 damage. It hits instantly, and that is gonna do 12 points of damage on the creature.
Nice. So you guys both targeted one of the creatures. And I want both of you to roll me initiative.
Oh, crap.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Book 2, Chapter 12, Long Road Ahead. If you liked our show and would like to show us some support, feel free to drop by our Discord, We Roll Dice, where we also put, every once in a while, bloopers from the previous week's chapters, as well as where you can find the Elemancer classes. You can also always give us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app, such as Spotify or Apple Podcast. And follow us on social medias at DiceBendersD&D. Thank you for listening, everybody, and subscribe for more shenanigans.